Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rudy Marconi. I'm First Selectman in Ridgefield, Connecticut, and we're coming to you right from the First Selectman's office. To my left, your right, is Mr. Jack Yen. He is a RHS senior and is here on his intern program working with me. And Jack has prepared several questions today. Hopefully they'll provide some answers to questions you all may have. So Jack, why don't you get started?
The town and school budget's passed. Do you have a reaction to this?
Well, certainly we're happy. You know, it's always good news to have your budget pass. And one of the concerns we do have, though, that I have personally, if you're asking me a personal response to that question, we're concerned about education and the future of education in our town. There was a substantial cut made to that budget this year that certainly brought the mill rate down, but did we have to make that large a cut? If you look at the surrounding communities, that didn't happen. And we need to be careful as a community that the amount of cuts we've had 2 years previously, where we had a very low increase, small increase in education, this year on top of that is a bad trend. We need to recognize that we need to address education. Education is the economic engine that drives this community here, from real estate and everything else associated, so we need to be very careful. Am I happy that the budget passed? Absolutely, but a word of caution going forward.
Opposition to the cell towers gaining momentum outside the local neighborhoods. What do you see happening?
Well, we have a town meeting scheduled for May 25th at Veterans Park Auditorium at 7:30. It'll be a vote by ballot. In other words, the registrars will be there signing everyone in, and everyone will be given a sheet of paper to check off yes or no on the vote. Now, this vote is strictly to purchase the property. It doesn't mean that we're going to have a cell tower. If the vote is yes to purchase the property for mainly open space, on a secondary basis, the cell tower, we then move forward and negotiate with a company that we've received bids from 4 different companies, negotiate with one of those companies to actually become the builder of the tower. That lease, that agreement, would then have to go back to a public hearing and a town meeting for approval. If that were to fail, that would mean we own the property, but we cannot build the tower. If that happens, our recourse and agreement with the Conservation Commission would be to sell 1, 2, or 3 building lots there, however many necessary to recover the $350,000 expenditure. We're currently looking for other sites. This has been going on for at least 6 years. We've looked at a multitude of sites. People are looking for verification that we have looked at these sites. Once you establish the fact that the elevation is too low, and we need an elevation of around 800 to 820 above sea level. Once you're in that 600 to 700, it is just too low, and the companies will not spend the money to do what is called a propagation study to see the amount of coverage they get. So right now we have one other spot on the south side of the valley we're looking at, exploring. It's a long shot at best. There's a deed restriction we're looking to get lifted. If the people who originally placed the deed restriction agree, then we're in good shape. Maybe we can pursue that. But right now it remains at the location that's been discussed over the last several months.
Okay. James Tate is going to his prom. What do you think about this recent media publicity in Shelton, Connecticut?
Well, you know, I saw the superintendent of schools interviewed, and her statement about the reversal of her position. In other words, originally Mr. Tate was not allowed to attend the prom, and the superintendent of schools did in fact change her mind and said she will be addressing issues like this on an individual basis going forward rather than having a one-size-fits-all policy. I agree with that. When you look at what Mr. Tate did, from what I understand, the sign where he actually invited his date to the prom was affixed to the wall with tape. It wasn't done with paint, so there was no graffiti or any issue like that. It was done with pure fun and with a little bit of romance involved, which is nice. So what's wrong with a little bit of romance in life? Nothing.